Hello! This is Yahweasel, and this is the Stanley Parable, and Kevan Brighting in chat broke my game. Thanks a lot, guy. You broke my game. Okay. You know what? We're gonna try the escape route. We already left the escape route. Let's try the escape route.
Go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Can't interact with the open drawer. Drawer.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
This sort of... Maybe it's because I keep thinking about Zork because of the Great Underground Empire, but this sort of reminds me stylistically of text adventure games in that you sort of... You have a... Well, I guess maybe more of visual novels in that you don't have... you have choices. The choices sort of feel more relevant than they really are. They don't really have... Here's the door, just go. You don't really have that many options, but you have just enough options to give you many, many different ways to go. Yeah, that's really not like interactive fiction, actually, because interactive fiction, you have tons and tons of options, but a lot of them are pointless, just retracing your steps and such, which I guess you can do here, partially, a little bit.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this...
What was I stuck on?
Stanley would meet his violent death.
I like violent death. That's my favorite kind.
Behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
And yet he chose violent death.
Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
That's what he was doing, all right. Whee! Strixus in chat says, are you sure by visual novel you don't mean Mass Effect? I haven't actually played Mass Effect, so... I appear to be alive.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer...
Hey!
He reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Sounds like fun. Now it broke.
Well, Stanley, cried the narrator.
There's a meta-narrator!
Into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Yeah, it's really not the bones that killed him, though. And yet, the spirit of Stanley appears to be fine. And we found the title sequence, so that's pretty cool. Okay.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever.
But with a new narrator.
What did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
Ain't that the truth?
Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Makes sense to me. Oh, fantastic. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the 2 doors in a good time. The 2 doors. A set of open doors are the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once the room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Not much of a contradiction. The availability of contradiction. Office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path of Stanley's office was the two doors to the office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development through the core layout, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. We are in, like, the development cabinet, the development center. Yep, those are office computers, and they can run solitaire, or I can shut them down. And they have 5 1/4 and 3.5-inch floppy disks. Well, let me turn off all these computers. I can't quite read that, so off with you. Oh, it just turns itself back on. Great. Thank you, Davey Wreden and William... I'm so good at pronouncing names. Oh, and the impeccable Kevan Brighting as the narrator. But who is the narrator's narrator? Who is the meta-narrator? I want to know. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. I haven't encountered... almost any of those sounds. Great. The office itself, fine. Here's 001, 002, and 003. An example office. Okay. And then we can choose left, which is the compliant way to go, or right, which is the non-compliant way to go. Oh, am I playing as the narrator now? Is this the... Ah, is that why there's a meta-narrator? Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up in the battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Submitted the Stanley Parable to Greenlight. Good for them. This is an almost empty room. Oh, God. This is just like random emails? After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While he had initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. Yeah, I don't really care. Stanley's office! Hooray! In various iterations. And yet not an iteration we've actually seen. The sort of Half-Life style grungy office. Well, there's the exit. Back to the game. I assume we can see more interesting developer stuff here. Countdown desk. Countdown desk. I feel like I'm seeing things from beyond what I've actually played. Okay, it looks like it's just sort of showing more of that kind of thing. Monitor room elevator, yep. Yeah, there are a few things here I haven't seen.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Okay, free it is.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
Well, yeah, it wouldn't be much of a game without both narrator and character in this case.
Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
Nah.
Push escape and press quit.
I don't wanna.
Another way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Whoops, let time choose for me. And then the game deletes itself. I mean, I've managed to destroy this game pretty impressively. I could crash it right now. All I have to do is press print screen, which used to be one of my hotkeys. So, this is what death is, huh? Just a black screen. Sucks. Quick poll of people watching along the live stream. Should I crash the game? Is that the right reaction to this? Does the game deserve a good old-fashioned crash, since I can crash it so easily and it's basically asking for it? I'm gonna go ahead and crash the game. It didn't crash! Oh, it crashed, okay. I had a moment there. And close program. Hello, Stanley Parable, which has decided it's part of Steam, even though I don't have the Steam version. Let's begin the game. I think we found a bad ending.
This is...
Oh, wait, that was a different voice. That guy had an American accent. I don't think I was crazy. I shouldn't have clicked through that. I didn't anticipate that, though. Especially since I crashed the game.
all of his co-workers...
Oh, never mind. I was just crazy. It's fine. It's fine. It wasn't an American.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors...
Okay, I feel like something more can be done when you decide to embrace nuclear oblivion.
Yet,
Perhaps not? Perhaps so?
feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Chat is yelling at me that if I go into the broom closet again, something different will happen. So far, doesn't feel very different to me.
No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Now, Speclad in chat asks, I wonder if you erased all your progress when you crashed the game. It's a distinctive possibility.
Broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything.
I'm gonna have a snack.
Something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Well, that was the same stuff he said last time, so...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Great! Now, at this point, we'll know whether it remembers me.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again
It has completely forgotten who I am.
life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Hey, if I had gone through that one more time, you would have happily let me.
So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Calming New Age music. Calming New Age music. Calming New Age music. Yeah, we've already had this, and so obviously it forgot all of my progress, it forgot that I'd already done the broom closet, it forgot that I had already done this several times. Do not intentionally crash the Stanley Parable, or it will get very angry with you. Turns out, intentionally crashing the Stanley Parable makes it a very, very unhappy game. Who knew?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
Oh man, it's really telling me...
Emotion in his chest.
Yeah, it is as if I have done nothing. So the problem is, if to actually avoid nuclear annihilation you need to do it twice, well, it's now forgotten that I've even done it once.
Go unanswered for long.
So I think my only solution to that problem is, oops, look, the Stanley Parable crashed again. Hello? It crashed so hard it won't even show the crash dialogue. Wow, it completely crashed that computer. Like 10 out of 10. Okay, next time. Until then, thanks for watching. Oh, so this was a once-off from a once-off stream. I might continue. Well, you know what? If this is voted for another once-off stream, I'll continue it, because it doesn't feel like a full game kind of game. But if this is voted for another once-off stream, I will continue it then. Until then, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, I've got thousands more. Just click that channel button. Cheers from Yahweasel.